Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dupten Dorshi. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, Mahotara Heruka. Om Pita Jota Mahase Shri Haruka Om Pe. Samu Tanzan Katsu Tatan Siti Tatan Kama. All Dharma masters, Dharma lecturers, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma teaching assistants, and temple and center directions, all disciples present here and over the internet. How do you do? Now I would like to announce for next Sunday, June 8th, at Sunday 3 p.m. there would be the Long Life Buddha. Long Life Buddha fire offering ceremony. And the mudra is the meditative mudra of the Dharma realm, holding a nectar vase and red. The deity is red. The mantra Om Amaruni Chunti Soha. He is an emanation of Amitabha Buddha. Today we perform Mahotara Heruka Homa, and the Vajra name is Whole Body, All Eyes. Whole Body Eyes Vajra. He is a breathful manifestation of Adharma Buddha, Samantabhadra Tathagata. He is also called Whole Body Eyes Vajra. His whole body is eyes, all eyes. So, Mahotara Heruka of the primordial Buddha. So, this deity, among the 5 great Herukas, Mahotara Heruka, Hevajra, Chakrasamvara, Yamantaka, sometimes with Kala Chakra or Kuya Samaya. They all called the 5 great Herukas. At the Heruka Hall at Lembu Temple, at the center there is Yamantaka. To the right there is Mahotara Heruka. To the left it's Hevajra. And Akalanata, 5 color Lords Akalanatha, the 8 Vidyarajas, and the 5 Vidyarajas, and all the Dhamma protectors of all the heavens. So this deity, Mahottara Heruka, has great power, great majestic power, because he's endowed with 42 serene deities and 58 wrathful deities. Altogether, they are called the 100 peaceful and wrathful deities. And he radiates the 100 precious light. This deity was transmitted at the Freedom Square in Taiwan. Homas. And over there, I transmitted this deity, and we had many miracles related to this deity. And many people attending the ceremony had their illnesses alleviated. Many miracles. There are many unthinkable things. So even the one who's passing by there, just hearing this mantra, and he's on the bus, hearing this mantra, felt warmth all over his body. And then when he got to the hospital to have the tumor on his neck checked, and it disappeared. And there's another person who had their fingers glued together ever since youth. Like our 5 fingers are separate, but for them, have several fingers next to each other, cannot be opened, could not be opened. But after attending the ceremony, the fingers can separate. So that's what happened right then and there, and they stood up and provided testimony. So right after the ceremony, and I invited people to stand up and share, and many did. So this deity has a great majestic power, very powerful. And the mantra is also powerful, very powerful. So practicing Mahottara Heruka, the whole body eyes, and ultimately each skin pore becomes an eye. It's very rare to have a Heruka with such an ability. Let me share some jokes. There's acne on the wife's face, and she's complaining. How come I always have acne on my face? And the husband said, because the heavens is jealous of your beauty. And the wife was very happy. And then asked the husband, and how about you? You're not handsome, but how come you also have acne? And the husband said, because the heavens punish me for lying. So he lied. The world is very strange. They push living people to die and then encourage people who want to die to continue living. So that's why everybody have life and have death. Is this a joke? Last year, New Year, a friend gave a red pocket of 2,000 NT dollars to me. That's about $60 US. And then for the whole year, his career and family went really well. And then a few days ago, he gave me 6,000, and then he won the lottery, 6 million. And then a good friend gave me $1,000, and now he's a billionaire. So now I spread the news. Whether you want to take this opportunity, it's up to you. Because success is only for those who grab the opportunity. Thank you for the disciples to offer red packets to Grandmaster. I remember yesterday, Liên Hoa Ye Er, an elderly from Singapore, 90 years old. Are you 90? You give me a big red packet, which I give to Simo. And another Liên Hoa Su Lin. You also offered a red packet to me and also a big one. From Singapore. 10,800. $18,000. I hope that you will win lottery. I still remember. And a few disciples from Hong Kong came, and the red packets are also huge. Someone by family named Kwan. Are they here? Are they here? Has even bigger red packet. So we'll just let you have Hong Kong. Your business is really big. Big business? You're a big boss? Small boss. Well, okay. We'll let you become a big boss. So there's a benefit for giving red packet. See, I remember those who give me big packets. And would give you blessings often. A lady went to see a doctor. Doctor, look, I was beaten by my husband like this. I don't want to continue living. And doctor said, don't worry, it's only a superficial injury. And how about your husband? How come he doesn't care about you? And the wife replied, oh, he's here too, but he's in ICU. Yeah, his injury was even worse. I think I've told this joke. At the seafood shop, there were two people drinking very happily. And Wang asked, where are you from? And he said, Taipei. Wow, I'm also from Taipei. So from same place, so let's cheers. And then, where in Taipei, Beito? Oh, me too. Okay, another glass. And Wang asked again, where in Beito? Sipai. Wow, me too. Okay, another glass. And asking again, what's your name? I said, Wang, what? Me too. Okay, let me drink 3 glasses. And then the shop owner just could not stand it anymore and called Mrs. Wang. Mrs. Wang, your husband and your son are really drunk. A human life cannot avoid onions, garlics, and ginger. The song. The daily livings of salt, oil, tea, and rice. As long as there's you, everything is good. Oh, these are only Chinese words. That's a homophone in Chinese. So, but if it really doesn't work out, it's fine. Let it be. Whether you just live it or you go by your impulse, or if it still doesn't work, just let it be. Now we'll do Q&A. Question from Taiwan. Lianhua Ating. Ating. In the past, Master Tutan Dorji told me, in the future, everybody will die. But the slang is ding ding. He loved to use this slang, ding ding, which means dead, died, or passed away. Is there such a slang in Cantonese? So, in Cantonese, ding ding is dead. But in Taiwan, there are many pharmacies called ding ding. That's a franchise. So they're all dead. But medicines is actually a poison. So if you take a lot of it, then you'll die. So Master Thubten Tarji often told me that a human will eventually die. So this is Lianhua Ating from Taiwan. I hope you're not Ding Ding. Amitabha, homage to the guiding teachers of humans and devas, living Buddha Liansung. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. 7, 20. Wow. Oh my gosh. I sincerely wish Grandmaster would explain Book 81, True Buddha Tantric Dharma Procedures, Chapter 9, Offering Sadhana, the Feast Offering or Jok Kanachakra Ritual, Section 16, 20th and 21st. How should we properly visualize and perform these 3 major parts of the offerings? Then there would be the whole ritual. How can I have such a time? And 16, toss the offering items into the air and recite the following. The practitioners form the offering mudra and enter deep meditation, Om Ahum. We reverently invite the assembly of lineage gurus to partake in the offering feast, the yidams, the dakinis, the dharma protectors, the wealth deities, and treasury guardians, all manifested spirits, mountain gods and earth gods, all sentient beings, parents, debtors, karmic creditors, and inviting all of them to receive the outer offering, all of them to receive the inner offering, the secret, unified, all-inclusive offering, and to accept the wondrous feast of great bliss. Section 20th, offering. The Karma Vajra, or ritual assistants, use the Vajrasattva mudra to offer nectar and other items before the main seat while chanting Alalaha. The principal deity abides in samadhi to receive the offering. Afterwards, the offering is distributed to fellow practitioners and all who rejoice with karmic affinity, and then the reserve and leftover are then blessed with the 3 reciprocal mantras and offered to the external protectors. And he's asking Grandmaster to explain everything. That's too much. Anyone has done the Zok or feast offering? Anyone here? Okay, Master. Every year, True Buddha Foundation would lead everyone to perform these feast offerings. In May, too, Golden Mother feast offerings for disciples globally. Who did it? Organized by True Buddha Foundation. So now let's invite True Buddha Foundation to write a letter for this Lianhua Ating from Taiwan. Thank you. Okay, and that resolved the issue. Otherwise, explaining it today, that would be taking too much time. We don't have enough time to expound on the Surangama Sutra then. All this, if you want to explain everything, then it's not even done in this ceremony. So we invite Buddha Foundation to explain to you. You're from Taiwan, right? Why don't you go to the Zhongguan Leizang Temple in Taipei and just go to find Master Lien Ye, who often did the feast offering. She will tell you, or else we'll have Buddha Foundation reply to you. Okay, that's the end of it. More! Wow! Oh my gosh! So long. Section 21, recitation for offering the leftovers. Bless the leftovers for external protectors. To the autonomous spirits and hungry ghosts who gather like great clouds, may you descend with hope to receive this delicious and exquisite leftover offerings. You once made vows before the Buddhas. May all broken precepts and offenses against the Dharma be dissolved. May you assist in accomplishing both worldly and transcendent endeavors. Mantra for offering leftovers. The Karma Vajra sends the offerings to a clean place outside the altar for the external protectors. And Ating also asked Grandmaster, in Kriya Tantra, the practitioner should carefully follow the ritual procedures and visualizations as instructed. However, in Charya Tantra, if a practitioner is sufficiently devout and focused, would errors or lack of clarity in the Kriya Tantra ritual still be acceptable and not considered flaws? And 3, I seek clarification from Grandmaster. If practitioner wears a hat, is it more difficult to feel the Dharma flow? Would the blessings of the Buddha light be harder to receive depending on the material? So it's harder to pass through a hat or plastic materials or metal materials? Thank you for your clarification and teachings. Your disciple prostrates with 5 limbs on the ground. Okay, let me tell you something simple. Let me tell you something simple. For the Dharma flow to enter into your body, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, it will go through. Even if you wear metal armor, it would reach inside you. And look at this, with the parasol blocking it, or the roof. So should we take down the roof then? Right? How about hair? Would that block it? Then you have to shave your hair, right? No, it doesn't matter where you are. Underground or on the whichever how floors of a building, whatever you wear, the Dharma flow. If the Dharma flow enters, it will enter. It doesn't matter what you wear on your head. That's the simple answer. And for the rest, ask Master Lien Ye. She belongs to the Buddha Foundation, right? If Master Lien Ye does not have time, then write a letter to Buddha Foundation. Now we'll discuss Surangama Sutra. Wow, this is very long. Let me recite the sutra. The Buddha said to Ananda, let's start with your seeing. The clarity of your seeing is innate and fundamental. Oh. Though the seeing is not the wondrous, luminous true mind itself, it's like the second moon seen when vision is unclear. It's not an illusion, and neither it is the real moon. Listen carefully. I will now show you the ground of no return. Ananda, this grand lecture hall opens to the east. When the sun rises into the sky, it shines brightly. At midnight, when there is a dark moon, clouds and fog obscure the sky. It becomes dim again. When looking through the doors and windows, one sees openness. Between the walls, one sees obstructions. When there is distinction, one sees conditioned appearances. In that emptiness, one sees voidness. When there is dust and haze, one sees gloom. When the sky clears and the air settles, one sees clarity. Ananda, you are observing all these changing appearances. Now I will return each to its source. What is its origin? This changes. Light returns to the sun. Why? Without the sun, there is no brightness. So brightness comes from the sun. Darkness returns to the dark moon. Openness returns to the doors and windows. Obstruction returns to the walls. Causes and conditions return to discernments. Emptiness returns to the voids. Gloom returns to dust and haze. Clarity returns to the clear sky. All phenomena in the world fall within these categories. Now, as for your faculty of seeing that perceives all 8 kinds of these conditions, to what can your seeing itself be returned? Why? If it returned to brightness, then in the absence of brightness, you shouldn't be able to see darkness. Yet despite all differences between brightness and darkness, your seeing does not change. Whatever can be returned is not you. What does not return, if it isn't you, then what is? Therefore, you should know that your mind is originally wondrous, bright, and pure. It's because you fall into confusion and forget your origin that you're caught in the rebirth cycle. That's why Tathagata calls you pitiable. Each character or word has its meaning, but reading it, you would not understand what Sakyamuni Buddha is talking about. Actually, it's very simple. Sakyamuni Buddha told Ananda, now you're looking at me. If you close your eyes and you look at me and then you close your eyes, is there still Sakyamuni Buddha? Of course there is. right?
因为这个就是观想。
Because that's visualization.
你看着我，然后用
Now you look at me, and then you cover your eyes with your hand. Can you still see me? Yes, you can. Why?
因为你可以想，
Because you can think about it.
所以
Because you just saw it. So the image is still on your brain.
这个看见呢，
So this seeing
妙明金星，
is not the wondrous, luminous, true mind.
好像你看月亮，
Like when you look at the moon at night, it's round,
闭起来，
and then you close your eyes.
前面还是显现了一个
In front of you, there's still a moon, a round moon.
这个叫做，这个不是第二个月亮，
But that's not the second moon, and it's not the shadow
这一段
of the
就
moon.
是这样。
That's what this passage
你要好好的
means.
听着，
Ananda, listen carefully.
开示你。
Now I will tell you what is the ground of no return.
昨天
Yesterday,
西雅图的当
at the
时
Seattle Litang Temple, I said, the 5 heavens of no return.
你到了五不还天，
If you go to the heavens of no return, you will not come to the Saha world anymore.
到了五不还天，你就不会回来。
Once you get there, you will not come back.
那现在释迦牟尼要开始
Now, Sakyamuni Buddha
无所还地，
teaches what is the ground of no return.
也就是说，这妙明真心
That means the wondrous, luminous, true mind will not depart.
阿难尊者啊，
That's no return.
现在做一个比喻给你听。
So, Ananda, let me give you an analogy.
现在在大讲堂里面，
For example, we're inside the
这
grand
个大门
lecture hall,
是面对的东方，
and the doors are open facing the east.
后啊
In the morning,
升起来，
when the sun rises,
这整个你就可以看到光明了。
you can see light.
晚上的时候，黑
At
夜，
night,
你看到的是云啊、雾啊，
in darkness,
暗。
what you see
晚上
are clouds and
有
fog,
雾昏暗，
and it's very dark,
明暗，暗明呀、暗明光亮，
dim
就是很暗。
and dark.
你如果从这个窗户看，从窗户看过去，
If you look through the
你
windows,
可以看到，
you can see
可以看得出来，看到外面。
outside.
窗户看可以看到外面。从墙隅之间，你看
Between the
你就
walls,
看不到外面。
then you cannot see outside.
你看墙，
If you
看
look
不
at
到外面。
the walls, you cannot see the outside because the walls
这个就是分别。
obstructed.
见
That's called discernment.
玩虚之中，偏是虚空。你看虚空呢，就觉得
So when you see the empty space,
什么都没有。
there's
天
nothing.
空
You look at the sky, there's nothing in there.
啊，如果是有这个灰尘啊，
If there is dust or
你就看
mist, then you cannot see through.
天空的变化。
That's the transformation in the sky, and there are many of them, like rain,
下冰雹、
hails,
闪电啊，
lightning, thunder,
另外呢，还刮风啊。
wind,
因为有些时候啊，
and sometimes fog,
空气污染啊，
no, smog.
像我
Like when I live in Taichung, the coal-powered power plant, when they are in progress, and you're high up on the hill, then you can see the whole area is covered with smoke, and you can't even see the buildings. So, with dust, there are many phenomena appearing. After rain and the sky clears, then you see a clear sky, very bright. Sakyamuni Buddha told Ananda, you see all these changes, changing appearances, but they all have a ground of return. What does it mean? They all belong to something. Some have returns, some have no returns. So, why? So, the light or brightness returns to the sun. Why? Because without the sun, there is no brightness. So brightness belongs to the sun. That's why it's called returning. So they return to the sun. Why? Because without the sun, there is no brightness. That's why brightness belongs to the sun. So brightness returns to the sun. When you don't see the sun, it's night. And the night returns to the moon. When there's a window, you can see the outside. So the seeing returns to the windows. And when you cannot see, then you return that to the walls or that. So everything returns to discernments. So if you can see, brightness returns to the sun. A darkness returns to the moon. Seeing returns to the windows. Because of the windows, you can see. If you cannot see, that returns to the walls. So in this way, if you see the sky and everything in it, you return it to the sky. If there is dust, you return it to the dust. If you see clear sky after rain, then you return that to the sky too. So all phenomena in the world fall within these categories. That's all they are, how they are. That's called returning or belonging or classifying. Everything in this world has to be returned to something. So this is talking about impermanence. If you're alive, you need to return to death. And death returns to karma, and karma returns to reincarnation. So that becomes the 6 rebirth realms. So everything in the world is like that. All the same, all the same, all with returning. So all kinds of phenomena that you see have a ground of returns. So all you're seeing has no differences at all. They all have grounds of returns. So if you return to brightness, then in the absence of brightness, you shouldn't be able to see darkness. So despite of all differences, your seeing does not change. So whatever that can be returned is not you. And what does not return, if it's not you, then what it is. So you should know that anything that does not return is called the wondrous, luminous, true mind. It is because you should know that your mind is originally the wondrous, luminous, and pure. It's because you fall into confusion and forget your origin that you are caught in the cycle of birth and death, drifting endlessly in samsara. Because sentient beings are deluded by the external phenomena. Any images in front of you, however it changes, they all have to return to something. Something returned to karma. And all phenomena in the sky have to be returned to the sky. All kinds of changes have to be returned. Only one thing that cannot be returned is the wondrous, luminous, true mind. Because Ananda, you now use your eyes, ears, and the 6 consciousnesses to discern. And all these things, all this are returned. Only one thing that cannot be returned, and that's the wondrous, luminous, true mind. And those that return are amidst the birth and death and the reincarnation. So Sakyamuni Buddha regarded that being born and die and birth and death and in the 6th rebirth realm, it's like a wood drifting in the ocean, very pitiful. That's the meaning of this excerpt. It's just a simple explanation because the words and the wording, the word choices are very difficult. So with the windows and you look out and you can see someone standing there, but if you look at the wall, you cannot see that person. So when you see the windows, it should belongs to the windows, and you see the walls, it's returned to the walls. If you see the changes in the sky, you return it to the sky. If you see brightness, you return it to the sun. If you see darkness, you return it to the moon. And when we see our own body, we know we have to return it to death. And returning to the end, that's to death. And after death, you return it to karma. Because you're deluded by all external images, so you create karma. And because you have created karma, you're reincarnated and just drifting in the ocean, in the 6 rebirth rounds. So Sakyamuni Buddha said, and because of that, you're very pitiful. Every one of us is very pitiful. That's what Sakyamuni Buddha said. This long passage is talking about this. So what is human life about? Earning lots of money? To return to who? So if you earn a lot of money, you return it to money. And if you live in a house, that's right, every one of us has a home. It's just that it's either big or small. And in the future, the houses return to houses. And you are you, a house is a house. Now you have lots of properties, lots of assets, and you inherited from your ancestors, and you're very pleased. They're all very valuable, but the land returns to the land. It's not a place for you. You cannot stand on it or to own it forever. In the future, our home would be the Twin Lotus Columbarium, and that's our future home. And it's just a box, little boxes in the columbarium. So it's returned. And fame, you're very famous. You're a president or a minister or heads of whatever. They all returned. The president returned the president, the minister returned the minister, the chief returned the chief. Even the head of the department is not forever. You're not forever president. They all needs to be returned. The minister returned, the minister presidents returned the president, the head of departments returned the head of department, general managers returned to the general manager, CEO returned to the CEO. Money is returned to the money, not to you. Everything is temporary phenomena. I often give an example of this person, Chung Yao, Taiwanese author, very famous. She was born in Chengdu, China. She died at 86, and she said she wanted to go to Switzerland to get euthanasia, but her children disapproved. So at her own home, she burned coal in a close space and died. Talking about wealth, she's very rich. she developed a house, a mansion, and she's very rich, had billions of dollars. So she had money, but she didn't want any of it. And she had fame. Everybody knows her, Qiong Yao, as a novelist. Over 80 novels, very famous. And many of them were adapted into movies. The two actors, Qin Han, Qin Xiangling, were her primary actresses. So had produced many movies, including 还珠格格, The Princess. So every Taiwanese who reads would know her. She had lots of money, she was very famous, and she had a rich life. Her romances were very sensational, so she had all the sensual pleasures too. In my whole life, I met her once because I was the chief editor-in-chief in Kaohsiung then. I invited her to give a speech at that conference then, with the China Evening News editor-chief to give a speech, and she just got married then, very young. I think she was 6 years older than I am, 5 or 6 years older, young and beautiful. She's not very tall. She was wearing blue dress, simple dress. She's very dainty and giving a speech, and I had a long talk with her. I met her once. I was a high school student back then in Kaohsiung, and she lived in Pingtung. I invited her to come to Kaohsiung, and her romances were very rich and colorful, and the novels too. And at that time, she already wrote outside the window and became famous overnight, and many other novels. So she had all wealth, fame, and sensual pleasures. And at the end, they were all returned. That's the end of her life. That's how her life ended. We would never imagine it. I thought to myself, if I hadn't been practicing Buddhism, I would be the same, dead. Just because I studied Buddhism, I know that I cannot just die as I like. That's the only difference. But I still have karma. There is still karma. Whatever you do, that's karma. And the karma is returned to karma. Life is returned to death, death returned to karma, karma is returned to samsara. Only by eradicating karma, you can recognize the wondrous, luminous, true mind. then you can be liberated or jump out of the transmigration in the 6 rebirth realms. But before you eradicate karma, you are definitely bound by the 6 rebirth realms. For the better ones, you go to the heavenly realms. So some people talk about 5 rebirth realms, not 6. Because if you go to the heavenly realm of form, let's just say the Brahma heaven, or the Mahabrahma God, Brahma, he could live for 100 kalpas. And what are those 100 kalpas? 1 kalpa is from the creation, development, deterioration and emptiness of the heaven and earth, and 100 times of that. Just imagine how long that lifespan is for Mahabrahma. He lived such a long life. So even if you just go to the Mahabrahma heaven, that's incredibly long. That's incredible already. The first dhyana heaven, second, third, fourth dhyana heavens. The fourth is the heavenly realm of formlessness. The second and third dhyana is in the heavenly realm of form. And the first dhyana sometimes is in the heavenly realm of desire. It's not fixed. So according to the Buddhist sutras, according to what Sakyamuni Buddha said, sentient beings are deluded by the external. They don't understand the marvelous and the luminous. Only by eradicating karma, you would understand the true mind and see the Buddha nature. And because they don't understand, they cycle in the rebirth realm, and Sakyamuni Buddha called that pitiful. All the Buddhas pity sentient beings because they are deluded by the external, and they all have returns. This is how I boast. I am not boasting, but I have a very high position at home. If I don't cook, nobody else dare to cook. If I don't wash the dishes, nobody dares to wash dishes. If I don't sweep the floor, no one else would do it. I take care of everything except money. Oh, that's so great. This is related to beliefs. It's a little bit like the wondrous luminous true mind. Someone else, Xiaoming, have you passed by the bridge? Yes. Are there fences on the bridge? Yes. So when you pass on the bridge, do you hold on the handrail? No. Then the rails are no use. Of course, there is use, because without it, what if I fall? But you don't hold on the handrail. Yeah. There are handrails, but I don't hold it. But without handrails, I would be scared. So what's going on? That's called faith. Faith is likened to the handrails on the bridge. They're there to protect you. You don't need to hold it, but you feel that your life is protected. It makes some sense. We do have the wondrous, luminous, true mind, and we can be liberated. Because you believe there is wondrous, luminous, true mind, that's why your belief has meaning. But without the wondrous, luminous, true mind, there's no use to talk about everything. All have to be returned, right? What is the so-called non-returning? The wondrous, luminous, true mind is non-returning. And the wondrous, luminous, true mind does exist, but you don't know where it is. But you believe in it. That's how it is. So whether you believe in Buddhism, in Jesus Christ, in Catholicism, in Muslim or Muhammad, they're all the same. Then you feel that the protective handrails or fences are there, but in reality they do exist. Oh, money, pay me home.